Hello, everyone. My name is Jessica Lunn, and I'm the current mayor of the Village of Slocan. I'm so excited to welcome you to the first in a new mini series of conversations that the village is hosting to inspire and inform Slocan. We are at the beginning of something big, a community powered journey to reimagine the future of the old mill site. We know there's a lot to learn as we go, and we also know that this is a moment to think boldly. These conversations are a chance for us to learn together, to hear fresh ideas, and to spark our imaginations about what is possible here in Slocan. To help us kick things off, I'm joined by three fantastic people who've been helping to shape this process from the ground up. So, with me today is Jordan Knott, councillor for the Village of Slocan, Amy Clark from ARC Engagement, and Nicole Berenstein, our project coordinator with the Village. First up, I'm going to turn things over to Amy, who's been leading our community engagement efforts this spring. So, Amy, welcome, and the floor is yours.
Thanks so much, Jess, and hi, everyone. As mentioned, my name is Amy, and I'm a communications and engagement specialist, and I'm so excited to be working on this project with the Village of Slocan. I think we're really in for some very exciting stories throughout this project, different ideas, and different opportunities for the community and the region to get involved. This project is really about sharing that inspiration, collecting feedback, all relating to that former mill site. Throughout April and May, different community members with the region can get involved, learn more, and give us feedback. An ongoing feature of this process is that we're going to be showcasing uh, different stories throughout this podcast series. So we're going to have a variety of speakers sharing different ideas, case studies, and stories. And as just mentioned, just getting everybody inspired with these stories. So to kick us off, our first podcast is going to feature, as introduced, we've got Jessica, we've got Jordan, we've got Nicole, all with the Village. And I've got some good questions lined up for all of you today. So I know you're all as excited as I am to be kicking this off. So I'm going to jump straight into my first question. And this is one for all of you, but Jessica, maybe we'll start with you. As the mayor of Slocan, what are your hopes and dreams for this process?
Thank you, Amy. So, council brainstormed this process It's been almost a year, and we really we have an opportunity to think big. It's a potentially transformational site. It's close to 20 acres, right on the waterfront and right in the heart of the community. So, my hopes and dreams for this process this spring is really about coming together as a community to start imagining what could be, to engage a wide variety of voices from the community, to learn. And I think that's what this mini podcast is about, is to learn from other communities who have been in similar situations where they have a property that's been used by industry in the past that is no longer there, and that needs to be transitioned to something new. Yeah, I don't know if anyone else has anything to add. Jordan, maybe.
Jordan, yeah, I'll put you in the hot seat, Jordan. What are
Oh,
your
sure.
hopes and dreams as a counselor for the village for this process?
I think I would echo a lot of what Jessica is stating. I think that obviously this site is of huge importance to the village and also to the surrounding area, and so I would hope that this process, engages people from Slocan and the surrounding area to start really, um, you know, creating a shared vision for what we as a community see for the future of this site and for the future of this community at large, as an opportunity for all of us to learn from other communities and other organizations and hear, a bunch of different approaches and innovative approaches to see what other people have done in similar situations, and really to just become inspired by some of the incredible things that other communities have done.
Yeah,
Awesome. Thank you.
Could I add one more thing too? Is the nature of the site. There's so much opportunity for healing. It's remediating the land. It's a really special spot where the lake it meets the river. And there's a creek running through it. So there's a lot of work to do there in terms of recreating a healthy environment. But there's also extreme opportunity as well for potential economic development or economy, and to bring potential prosperity to the community. I know we scheduled different and unique interviews through the springtime, and we'll continue to interview folks as we move forward. But we want to learn, we want to discover how can we make an economy that helps our community thrive, that brings some prosperity to the community, that gives opportunity to our children, and our young adults and our seniors, and our community well into the future in a sustainable way.
Nicole, do you have anything you want to add on your hopes and dreams for this process?
Yeah, I think as village staff, our hopes and dreams are to just hear as many voices as possible and really get this, engage the public and really the valley in this process, which is a very exciting one, and really explore the potential of this site. That's about it.
Great. Thank you all so much. Next, Jessica, this is a question for you, but of course, everyone else weigh in if you have something to add. So, of course, purchasing this mill site is kind of a big deal. It's a huge opportunity, as we've heard. It's a big purchase. It's right on the waterfront, prime real estate. Can you tell us a little bit more about the process that made this purchase possible?
Thank you, Amy. Yes. So it's been a long journey. The Springers Creek sawmill was up and down, and not. I think for many years before they actually closed and the mill was demolished, there was, the village was looking at how can we support the industry, that our population. There were concerns about transitioning away from an industrial based economy, what that might look like. But it was also like such a presence within the community. It really defined Slocan for so long. And then once the mill did close permanently, and then the buildings were demolished, it was still privately held, and it was privately held for a number of years, which really limited the potential to move forward. If you don't have an active partner, if it's a private site or a private property, it limits what you can do to move things forward. So it was listed, and then in 2020, I believe, it was the price on the property dropped, and there was an opportunity. And at that point, the village really did. We felt like, ooh, this is an opportunity where we could potentially purchase this, and have more controls over what we could do with the site. We know it's an incredible opportunity. We know it's a huge site. If it shared or it was purchased into a single private owner, less controls over what might happen there. So we had to make a lot of moves quite quickly to actually make that purchase possible, and really really appreciate. We worked closely with Columbia Basin Trust during that period too, and we're able to get a grant that really made it a feasible option for our small municipality to purchase and acquire the property for future use. The entire time when we did this was really, we don't want to waste this opportunity. It's such a potentially transformative property that by purchasing it, it does allow us to have more say as a community and as a region of what will happen there. As mentioned in our intros, we do have an opportunity to think big and think future facing in a way that we wouldn't have been able to had we not purchased the site.
Amazing. And I know, having worked on the official community plan in the past, folks have been, of course, sort of already giving some feedback about, their vision and what they hope for this site. So, it's great to see that conversation continuing. And so I'll jump right into our next question. Jordan, I'm going to put you in the hot seat for this one. And this is kind of a segue from that community planning process in 2022. And so council and staff first started asking residents at that time while we were working on that project. And so now that we're sort of moving ahead with this new process, what should people know about this site leading into the process?
In terms of in terms of environmental or what types of considerations are we talking about?
Yeah, I guess anything, building on some of those ideas.
Sure.
Yeah, maybe just throwing it out there as sort of an open slate. But
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I think that obviously the public knows that this is a former industrial site, and so it's going. There are probably areas of the site that will require some remediation work. That being said, I think that there's there's nothing that's happening on the site that means that the site can't become something new in the future. I know that there's a lot of members of the community that would love to see areas of the site remediated, like Jessica was saying, to renaturalize the creek and the waterfront, and to establish more community space and parkland here. And I think I just want to add further to what Jessica was just talking about. This the village taking ownership of the site really secures this site for the benefit of the public, for generations to come, rather than for this site being for private gain, as it has been in the past through different various different industry players. So I'm really excited to see, I guess, when I think about what people should know about this site, I think that it really what we're talking about right now is the future of this community at large, like what this site could mean to Slocan, and what the future of this site, how that will define the town of Slocan going forward. So it's really exciting time to be part of this conversation.
awesome. Thanks so much, Jordan.
Yeah, and Amy, you referenced our official community plan update that happened, and I know at that point the community was really hungry to start having this conversation about the visioning, but council did the scope, wanted to separate the visioning and the master planning process from the OCP update, so we could have a more fulsome conversation with community, share ideas, and then really start moving into a master plan for the site.
Well, you've segued me perfect into my next question, which is, this process that we're in right now is really that visionary piece, um, you know, sharing stories, getting inspired, looking at different case studies from different communities, and what is the potential of this site. And so, of course, that is different from a future master planning process. So, Jessica, how do you see this process that we're in now differing from, a future planning process that, will at some point take place?
Yeah, so a big component of this process this spring that we consciously wanted to have for community is that learning and ideas and visioning phase. So it's an opportunity to learn, to get ideas, to think big. And we want to hear from everybody. There will be some pie in the sky ideas, but let's go there. Let's go. Let's not think small. And the information and this process really should be about coming together, learning, and then I'm sure you'll speak to it a little bit later, but it will be culminating into a symposium and some charade planning to start brainstorming that high level vision for the site and the future of the community. And master planning, it can get there's lots of phases to it, and that's where you pull in the realities of the plan that you're wanting to implement. So the master planning process will be grounded in planning best practices, of course, but it will be shaped by this visioning process and that we're hosting for the community this spring.
Great, thank you. That's a good sort of, reminder. I know we talked a lot about visioning and all that and inspiring. So, I think you're right. Let's throw all the ideas out there.
Yeah.
So we do have a website going. I know the website address popped up earlier. If you haven't seen it yet, it's waterfrontcommons.ca. And we've now launched our project. And on that website, we have a project vision and some of the goals for this process. So I want to ask each of you, if you had to pick one top goal or outcome for this project in, let's say, one or two sentences, what do you want to achieve? Jordan, how about we start with you?
I think that if there's one thing that I would like to see achieved by this process, it would be for the community to become really excited about the shared future, of this community, to become really excited about what's possible on this site, and to really be thinking about what, thinking really big about what could be possible here.
Amazing. Jessica, what is your one top goal or outcome for this process?
For me, it's an opportunity for us to co-create. So we're right now in the realm of all possibility. So we want to explore that, and we want to think big and learn and become inspired as a whole community. And then as a part of this piece as well, we want to start coming into that tangible vision. So it's starting to come into to a tangible vision, a shared vision for the community, and that's for me that's the key goal. Let's get excited, let's get inspired, and let's start creating that shared vision for a magnificent future for the site.
Great. And Nicole, how about you? What is your top goal or outcome, or what do you want to achieve with this process?
Yeah, I think I'll just echo what Jessica and Jordan are mentioning about this learning component to it. I think there's so much to learn about the site within site constraints, but also the possibilities that are there. And so I'm very excited to get into all these precedent projects and learn from them and kind of learn about kind of these community led initiatives to help create some economic diversity in our community. How do we get money coming in year round, and kind of exploring all of those options?
Awesome. Thanks so much, Nicole. Okay, our last question for this podcast now sounds a little bit similar to the last one, but let's start to be visionary on this podcast here. So we were asking about your goals and outcomes for the project, but now I want to know, if you had one wish for this space, what would that be? Nicole, I'm going to throw it right back to you. One wish for this space. This is where you guys get to put your resident hats on.
Yeah, I think kind of circling back to the last question is kind of, that innovative economic development. Like, I would love to see some sort of community owned initiative that brought, just money here all year round, jobs, as well as obviously like a great community space for us all,
Great.
whatever that may look like.
Well, we'll find out, I'm sure, through this process, a few different
Yeah.
options. And Jordan, how about you?
I think that there's a lot of like really specific ideas that I could get into here about, the dreams that I personally have for the site. But I think if there was one wish that I had, it would be to see the economic benefits of this site stay to benefit the community directly for all future generations. To be thinking innovatively about how we build the economy of this area and how that economy may serve us directly as community members. Thinking maybe creatively about, like Nicole was saying, different ownership structures or social enterprise as being, a central focus for the site.
Great. And Jessica, how about you? What is your one wish for this site?
Yeah, I will echo Jordan that I have ideas. Uh, but for me, if the outcome of this process, it should be a legacy for what is a truly spectacular space. It should be a legacy for future generations. And I'm a little bit out of words, or I can't really describe what it is. But it should be something really beautiful that really pays homage to the space and the beautiful space and the community that it is. Sometimes we get jaded when we live in a community for a long time or in a place. But it truly is such a magnificent piece of property, and it's a magnificent community. And I think if all of our hearts and minds come together, we really, truly can create a legacy project that we can all be proud of. So that's my hope and that's my dream.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And that concludes our formal questions. I do want to add just a little bit more onto the end of this before I let all of you go. Just a few more details on this process and what to look forward to. So as Jessica, you mentioned, we will be having a big symposium event on May 24th and 25th. And so save those dates in your calendar. We have a schedule online. We'll be filling that out with more details as we go, but save the date. As we lead up, we'll be reminding you of that and releasing more information. But expect to be inspired with different activities. We've got a keynote speaker. We've got lots of opportunities to give feedback. We'll be doing a design workshop. We'll be doing a walking tour, panel discussion, open house, lots of different interactive activities and way to chat with all of us, other project team members, and give us your feedback. So building up to that symposium event, we want to get your wheels turning with lots of different ideas. So on our website, we're going to be featuring different topics and themes. So you can log on to waterfrontcommons.ca. And we'll be launching those themes between now and our symposium event at the end of May. So one of the best ways to keep in touch with us is joining our email list, which you can do so online. We'll be sending out an e-blast to our email subscribers. We'll be sharing that information through social media. You'll see it in the news, but our email list is one of the best ways to stay up to date on that. So some of our upcoming features, we're going to be talking about the history of the mill site. We've got local historian Greg Nestoroff. We've got some local village residents or former residents who will chat with us. We've got different case studies from communities For example, Village of Radium Hot Springs sharing their story. We'll have some different features from Shorefast, who's working with us on this project, and their different programming on Fogo Island. We've got some links online, so if you're not familiar with them, definitely check it out. We're going to be talking about environmental considerations for the site, as Jordan mentioned. Definitely something we want to talk about during this process, and tons more stories and features that we'll be releasing on that website. So if you haven't done so yet, log on, sign up for our email list. You can leave a comment on the website with your thoughts and ideas, or you can always email us at info@waterfrontcommons.ca. And we are so excited. We really appreciate you joining us today. And with that, I think I'll say thank you to all of you here today joining us offline, to Nicole, Jordan, and Jessica for just introducing this project with me. I really appreciate your time today.
Thanks,
Excellent. And
everyone.
I'll echo as well. Thanks, everyone. And we really we want you to get involved, get engaged. Please visit the site, and we'll see you soon. Thanks,
Thanks,
everyone.
everyone. Take
Thanks,
care.
Amy.
Bye-bye.
Bye.